one of my favorite people here as a guest tonight.
I thought he died in 1945.
Yes, the inimitable voice of my guest for the entire show. I took the segment thing and threw it away because my guest will be here. Comedian extraordinaire, actor mediocre, and a good friend of mine, Jim Norton. Jimmy.
Delighted.
I am, like I said, I'm stunned that this is even a thing.
It is crazy. We're on radio in New York again, and looking out the window at car. Like, it's so bizarre to be on regular radio in New York.
It is, and I was thinking about that. The last time this happened was K-Rock. I think that was the last time we were on broadcast radio together. We would do K-Rock in the morning and then do the walk over to XM satellite radio. And that was many, many years ago.
I remember that you had to put the shopping cart had to be pushed and all the equipment. It was such a nightmare.
Oh, it had like some kind of archaic satellite system in it. And, yes, Steve would, push it. And you would buy inappropriate magazines from the magazine stands.
That's right.
And
something inches. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun, but it was inconvenient. It kind of, broke the show up a little bit. Some days were great.
Yes.
Some were like, oh my God, get us over to the studio. But Rich Voss used to stop at some of the restaurants along the way and do impromptu, spontaneous stand-up for people that, it was early in the morning. They're just trying to get their bagel and coffee. And they're like, sir, what are you eating there, sir?
And the last thing they wanted was just to be teased by an abrasive man. Yes. He's just so abrasive. Even when people like him, they don't really like him because he's just abrasive.
No.
So if you're minding your business, having your coffee in the morning, that's the last thing you want. My voice is a little scratchy. You can tell I'm a little cold.
Oh, what was hitting the back of it? There he goes. Oh,
it's
boy.
not what you think.
Just dab it in a little NyQuil and shove it back there and see how you do.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm a little clogged.
Oh, I bet. You're posting on social media?
I really am an old man at this point. I got my glasses on. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I'm panicking.
It's so hard to keep up with it, and you don't want to. If you make one mistake, you could be brilliant at posting in the internet. If you make one mistake in front of people, it's like, okay, boomer.
Yeah.
All right, boomer. It happened. I was doing a sales meeting here from my house, and it works every single time. And then I'm there on camera going, wait, they can't hear me. And it's just me pushing and trying to sign language the sponsor and the sales staff. And I'm like, wait, 1 minute. I got it. I'm just I look like a buffoon.
Plus the plus 24 font size on the phone doesn't help either.
Yeah, well, that's, but I got my crazy big glasses. These are my Sheriff Chief Brody glasses from Jaws.
God, they are Chief Brody glasses.
That's
awesome.
It's
hope you have a quint ending.
Jimmy.
I know, it's so good.
It really is. It's been so long.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't looking for a gig.
Sure.
And they in their infinite wisdom here, they decided to hire me because you were over at Sirius XM satellite radio with the Opie and Anthony show.
Yep.
And back in 2014, I guess it was, I got the boot.
It was July 4th weekend.
Yes.
We were off. I remember where I was when my ex Jen called me and told me that something happened.
What was her birth name?
Well, it's funny because that is that is who I was on a date with. Not Jen, but let's just say another young lady.
Oh, okay. Yes. Wow, it goes back that far.
God Almighty! Wait, not with Nikki. It was another girl, but yeah, it's just before I met Nikki.
Okay. So yeah, it was back then. I remember because I had just also bought a brand new Jaguar. Because the money's just rolling in.
Nothing can stop us.
And I'm like, oh, God, what am I going to do? It was like, I talk about not having regrets, and it's easier when once you go through, especially years, to look back and go, well, I'm happy where I am now and what's going on. But at that moment, and you were through one of those also at NEW when we got fired for the Sex for Sam St. Pat's Cathedral debacle. And there's nothing worse than right when it happens. And our agent calls and goes, they're terminating you. You're like, oh my God,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? Did I screw this up? Am I going to be back on a ladder in a rooftop putting in air conditioning and heating? It was frightening.
Yes.
And then you do realize, and it's kind of comforting that in a few years, it takes that long sometimes, you realize like, oh, I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for that. And I always look at it like I'd have been fired 15 more times after that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. But it was, that was some stressful times.
It is losing a gig. I remember when it happened at NEW. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I'm never going to make the money again. I'm never going to make this money.
Yeah.
I have no future. There's nothing going to happen.
Well,
and,
you were right.
I was just going to say, I knew I was too long of a setup. I was just about to say, and I was right, but I handed it to you.
Thank you.
I handed it to you, and then I tied my shoes, and you put it where you should. But it's it's so bizarre when you lose a gig. Like you're like nothing is ever gonna come around again. And even now, I'm not with Sirius. I'm not. It wasn't a firing. It was just. It was kind of the way they did it. But when you get that call, like we're not gonna renew. I was like, all right. And it's funny, you miss knowing that the money's there.
Yes.
But it's nothing in my life has changed. Like nothing.
Yeah.
I've seen no change whatsoever.
But I don't know. Financial stability is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And having a steady check come in, you almost take it for granted after a while. And you don't realize that, well, I might not need that. And it gives you a little bit of power over your future. You can go on and do what you want to do.
I wanted to go away every single weekend and work, and I wanted my wife to hook at a bus station. So we're both kind of doing what we need to do to pay the bills. That's what she was meant to do. Hook at a bus station.
That's terrible. But, like E-Rock has been the rat of XM satellite radio, Sirius XM. He tells me everything going on. And it's great because they just are making terrible decisions as far as talent goes and the whole thing of getting a celebrity with a name, just stick with you.
Absolutely. A nothing that will help you, not at all. I'm trying to say it without cursing.
It is a little tough.
It
right?
certainly is challenging.
Gotcha.
What else starts with C?
Yeah, but that's what I've noticed over the course of the years is like when we went there, it was such a change from radio, especially XM more than Sirius. But it was like this big change, and they were all about not doing what radio does. And now
XM was.
Yeah, XM was, not Sirius
Not
XM.
Sirius, yeah.
And it's so weird that technology went from having to put a satellite up orbiting the goddamn planet.
Yeah.
And now you just pick your phone up and I could listen to Spotify and make my own playlist and things like that. But the only real commodity left is personality driven. They can't just make that out of thin air and put it on. So
they try.
Yeah.
They try.
Yeah. Well, they hire these celebrities, big names.
Sure.
And they give them hundreds of millions of dollars and they don't bring anybody in.
Because they're not really that interesting. Like, most of them are very guarded. Like, they haven't had to make a living talking about their personal life on slow news days.
Right.
Like, the most garbage comes out, like, when nothing's going on in August, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, I like women who have penises. It just kind of spills out. It spills out. It spills out when there's a slow news day.
On your back. It's...
Never changes.
Never.
Nothing changes.
Never changes.
But that's when the stuff comes out, and celebrities are not used to that. They're not used to these slow news days where they have to like fill it with their own personal
They're
life.
very guarded.
Yeah.
And there were those days. I mean, the one refreshing thing about it is you really don't have any secrets that anyone could use against you. Not like, they're trying. But those slow news days when you're looking going, I'm going to have to delve back to my teens on this one.
Yeah.
Boy, that's going to be ugly.
Oh my God! There's like the New York Post. Like the headline was "Sunshine today," and I'm like, oh well, we're going under the porch, aren't we? It's going to be a long day.
Yeah, you start talking about yourself, and I think celebrities that get these big paying gigs in broadcasting these days, they don't have that in them. They could get their buddies, and they'll get a little traction. What's the name of that show with all those guys? There's like 4 of them, celebrities, the guys.
Sopranos.
No.
Was it a podcast?
No, yeah, it was a podcast.
Is it with Will Arnett?
Yes, Will Arnett.
Yeah,
those guys. Yeah.
Smartless. And who else? Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
Those guys are huge.
The guy from Will and Grace.
I mean, they're funny. They've been through a lot of stuff. They got Hollywood stories, but I don't think they're broadcasters. I don't think they have the ability to just talk about stuff that is kind of embarrassing.
Sure.
And, the ability to convey an entertaining story as a relatable person. I don't know.
Yeah, they're probably just telling story. Like most times when they interview those people, and I'm not Will Arnett because he's funny, but like when they interview like an actor, and they say, "How was the movie shoot?" They're like, "Oh, it was so much fun on the set." They give you nothing, and you're like, "That's not interesting."
It's the same story they've told 50 times to 50 different people. So, yeah, I would feel stupid doing that, like saying the same thing over and over on one day. You're sitting in a studio doing that, but that's like their gig.
It certainly is.
And podcasting too. I don't even think of that as broadcasting per se. It just seems like it's a whole different animal.
It is, and the one I started one right after because I was allowed to because there was no radio.
Yeah. You got a no compete?
Yes, I do. No, I'm kidding. I'm saying that they did during the thing. They wouldn't let me do my podcast. So like once it's over, you can do what you want.
They tried pulling that on me.
Really?
Yeah, I told them to go F themselves, and then they fired me.
Oh.
Yeah, I was doing the compound thing from the basement, and they had a problem with it. And then I went in and it's nothing like the radio show.
Right.
This is, again, bring up 1945. It was just fun. It was a fun thing, the hobby that I was doing in the basement. But
in their studios.
No, they don't want anyone there anymore because then they could go, well, you're not even using our studio, so we could pay you less. And that's what they do.
I take calls on my thing now. Like it's an advice show, but I honestly like the live interaction with people. Like I like listeners, even though sometimes they suck and they're idiots. But I do like when they take you into a weird direction that you never would have thought to go in because it's just they're talking about something in their life that wouldn't have been on my mind.
That's what this is kind of a new thing or an old thing that's new again is. Phone calls.
Yeah.
Because when you have a subscriber based show like I had for many years and still do, you're not going to get calls from people. They pay to listen to you.
Sure.
You're not getting the errant call or the person that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
How long at NEW did we have to take calls in here? Play the music.
Yeah.
You suck. Get the lead out. You guys are going to be gone in a month. All that stuff that we heard over the course of the years. And I kind of like that. You could, get back at them. It's like a little bit of abrasion between the caller and you. So having calls, and we will take calls. And by the way, I do want to say that you do have a show. It's Jim Norton, Can't Save You.
Yeah.
And you have celebrities on, comics, stars of stage and screen.
I've had, Neil deGrasse Tyson is this Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
He's a great guest.
Yeah.
We had George Santos in, who was one of my favorites, from Long Island. George, he was hilarious. It's been a very interesting mix. Mark Norman was great. You were great.
From
Tim Dillon.
Yeah, from what the hell was that? That Broadway show that he did, and then it was a movie with De Niro.
Oh, Chaz Palminteri.
Yeah, Chaz Palminteri.